Small things prompt the memory, causing a rapid surge of adrenaline to burn through you from the inside out. Your heart feels hungry, as if your projections of the future are starving it of blood. It aches like weak, brittle girders giving in to the weight of the tower it's meant to support. You swallow, dryly, coarse sand dragging down the back of your throat. You strain your brow, looking up towards the midday sun, the cold steel of the revolver holstered inside your jeans, surprising the back of your leg with each step. It's just a matter of mind over body. You possess the mental determination to force the laboring demands upon your legs, but it will get to the point where they can no longer deliver, whether it be lack of sustenance or just the acids in your muscles turning your legs to stone. Even then, you still have your arms, and you'll drag your corpse after your heart is stopped, and your brain is void of thought, and you'll get that fucker, and you'll use that bullet. Your mind invents strange things when you're left to your own devices, especially when you're only surrounded by monotony. All your past experiences, wonders and desires merge into one constant, indecipherable mess of color and shape. Plucking out the highlights, the extremes, you think of the bullet. That one bullet and what it symbolizes. The freedom, the release it will provide once it reaches its final resting place. He had a daughter. He would kill for her, and kill her he did, only to save her from herself. In his eyes, she had died 2 years earlier when she fell a slave to the drugs. You can't blame her for trying to escape. She didn't have much of a life, but you loved her unconditionally. You had tried to help her, but this was no good to him. You were never good enough. You stuck with her till the end. She took to selling herself for money. You couldn't afford to keep her supply. It hurt you, but times were desperate for her, and the guilt she made you feel made you just sit back and accept it. He spoke of how he wished to be a snake and shed himself of guilty skin and start over. He spoke of his choice and how neither possibility would leave him with a clear conscience. You contested that it was selfish and not his choice to make. He didn't even acknowledge this or even justify it with any response. He was always like that, set in his ways. After that, he just cocked the gun and pulled the trigger. 5 times. You suspect she only felt the first 2, if any, intended for the head, but hit her neck, then her right shoulder. There was a dull glaze over his eyes. He seemed numb with expression as he continued to fire the rounds into her twitching body. Initially, I thought he was trying to ensure she was dead. In hindsight, I think he enjoyed it, however briefly. Sick bastard. Tears ripped down your cheeks at the sight of your loved one mutilated on the floor of the cabin. A cloud of dust rose above her and twinkled in the daylight breaking through the cracks in the planked walls. It almost looked as if her spirit was rising from her body. You looked to him again, and noticed a set of tears on his face to match your own. You thought he saved the last bullet for you. He had, just not yet. Your train of thought hits a wall with a great thud, as you flash mental slides of her bleeding body, almost like crime scene photographs burned under the inside of your eyelids. You close your eyes tight and shake your head. You will never shift these images from your memory, so vivid and real you can still smell the cordite. Passing the tall reeds, you reach out for them, a brief reminder of nature and all things that aren't just sand. As your fingers brush past them and they fill up your hands, you remember her hair, her long, beautiful hair, and how you liked to run your fingers through it. Of how you studied her face in the twilight and fell deep into her eyes. Of how she could never appreciate the beauty you saw. He pulled the back of your shirt out from your jeans and stuck the revolver down there. There's one left. You open your eyes and raise your head from the floor. A blurred sandscape is all to be seen. A dull ringing rebounds on your eardrums. You can almost taste the blood in the back of your head. The car was gone.